Right now, the maritime industry is building ships that could be paying penalty within 3 years of delivery.
We need a global tax on CO2.
Some form of levy has to be there in the mix.
These are $100 million ships that will still be at sea in 2054. They're being ordered right now against global rules that have not been finished yet, only because the world cannot agree on what kind of fuel they're supposed to burn.
You really need to find fuel that can sustain that situation.
That argument already stopped a vote in the International Maritime Organization once.
Donald Trump claims he'll punish nations who choose to back carbon price on international shipping.
It turned into threats between governments. Meanwhile, the industry has quietly done something nobody expected. It is ordering conventional ships at a record pace.
We have a big uptick in VLCCs, but the group that's been ordered in large numbers has been container ships.
This is not a video about whether shipping should clean up or not. That argument has two serious sides, and we will give you both. So we are going to try to fill in this one blank line in 6 different ways. Ammonia, methanol, gas, convert the fuel later, do nothing, or wait for the regulator. And you will watch every one of them close. Stay to the end and you will understand why the cleanest fuel on earth is the one nobody can buy. Why the most popular answer has an expiry date built into it. What that record order book is really telling us. The one thing to understand, because everything rests on it. The rules being written for ships do not measure the smoke coming out of the funnel. They measure the entire life of the fuel in the tank, where it came from, how it was made, and what happened when it burned, and anything that was leaked on the way. The industry calls it well to wake. It is the thing that quietly closes most of these doors. Let's start with the obvious one, ammonia. If the rules punish carbon, pick a fuel that has none of it. Ammonia is nitrogen and hydrogen. Burn it and there is no carbon dioxide because there never was any carbon in there. Though it is not perfect, burning ammonia produces nitrous oxide, its very own potent greenhouse gas. And the fuel is toxic enough that handling it is a real safety problem. But the bigger problem is simpler. Modeling by UMAS for getting to zero coalition puts renewable ammonia at least 3 times the cost of conventional marine fuels. And fuel is the biggest running cost most ships have. You cannot really buy it yet. According to DNV's Alternative Fuels Insight platform, in the first half of 2026, out of 137 alternative fuel ships ordered worldwide, only 4 were ammonia. Next, let's try the fuel that was supposed to be ready, methanol. Methanol burns cleanly, handles like a normal liquid, and a few years ago, it looked like the winner. Out of those same 137 ships ordered, DNV counted that 2 were methanol. To be fair, the methanol fleet is still growing. DNV also recorded 38 methanol ships delivered this year from that earlier wave. So this is not a fuel nobody wanted. It is a fuel companies stopped committing to because the green version never arrived at volumes promised at a price a ship could survive. Transport and Environment tracked 69 fuel projects in Europe that could serve shipping. As of 2026, only 6 of them were actually running. Okay, so let's be practical and do what the industry is actually doing of those 137 ships ordered in DNV's data. 73 were liquefied natural gas, and the reason is not ideology, it's plumbing. Gas is the one alternative fuel with a refueling network that already exists because the gas industry built it decades ago for other reasons. The same logic explains the other big mover. 55 of those ordered were LPG and ethane carriers, up from 15 the year before. Ships that carry gas can burn a little of what they already carry. Convenience wins. But remember, well to wake. Gas engines do not burn everything. A fraction slips through the methane, which traps far more heat than carbon dioxide. Under the old accounting, that was invisible. According to the new rules, now it counts. And here, the experts genuinely disagree. The International Council on Clean Transportation argues that official guidelines understate that leakage, and much of the advantage fades away once you count it properly. The industry coalition CLNG argues gas is still the cheapest realistic route to compliance today. What both accept is the direction. Modeling by the Classification Society Bureau Veritas projects gas slipping into higher penalty band in the early 2030s, with running costs roughly doubling at 2035. So, door number 3 does not slam. It closes on a timer and everyone signing it knows it. Okay, order a normal ship now. Convert it later when the answer is obvious. Honestly, this is the most sensible plan on the list. The catch is that conversions need yards. Lloyd's register counts roughly 27 yards in the world that can do this, handling maybe 465 ships a year, against a peak need of more than 1,000. Although researchers at UCL tested that and found no hard limit. So door 4 is locked. It might just have a very long queue. So door number 5, do nothing and wait for certainty. In January 2025, researchers at UCL Energy Institute put more than $400 billion, over a third of the value of the existing ordered fleet, at risk of having transition to be scrapped early. But that is a projection. In the tanker market right now, a 5-year-old supertanker is worth more than a brand new one. The reason you can see in the link here. This is a war driven by freight boom rather than the verdict on fuel. But it tells you where the money currently thinks the risk is. So door number 5 is a bet. It is not obviously a mistake. Then just wait for the rule and follow it. Except there is no single global rule yet. At the International Maritime Organization in October 2025, a vote to adopt one was adjourned, 57 votes to 49. It survived another round in 2026, and it is scheduled to be taken up again on the 4th of December. And even if it is adopted then, it does not take effect immediately. Under the way these conventions work, entry into force lands roughly 16 months later, so 2028. But here is the part that matters, and it cuts against the idea that everyone is simply waiting. If your ship trades to or from Europe, carbon is already priced and it is already law. The European Union's emissions trading system has covered shipping since 2024. FuelEU Maritime has applied since January 2025. It is a well-to-wake standard, exactly like the global one being argued over. So, for a large slice of the world's fleet, door number 6 is already shut. The question was never whether the rules will arrive. It is whether they will arrive globally or region by region, which is a very different problem for a ship that trades everywhere. And the global disagreement is real on both sides. One group, including the United States, China, and a number of developing economies, argues that the cost lands on the consumers and trade, and the fuel are just not ready. The other one, led by European Union and small island states, argues delay is more expensive option because they are the ones who ended up measuring it. Both positions are reasonable. That is exactly why this is so hard to settle. So with every door blocked, you would expect the industry to freeze. It has not. According to Clarksons data, Chinese yards just broke their all-time order record, and the crude tanker ordering hit historic highs. Meanwhile, DNV recorded alternative fuel orders falling about 12%. Now, be careful, because there is an obvious explanation. Tanker owners made extraordinary money in the Hormuz crisis this year, and people who have just made a fortune go shopping. A lot of this is simply a boom. But look at what they are buying. Not the fuels, the rules are designed to reward. And here is why that line stays blank. Work done by UMAS and the Energy Transitions Commission back in 2020 estimated that only around 13% of the bill for this transition is ships. The other 87% is on land, fuel plants, storage, terminals and ports that do not have any. So the person holding that pen is not being indecisive. They are being asked to commit to a fuel that a completely different industry has not built yet, and no ship owner can order that industry into existence. Meanwhile, the people who would build it will not move without guaranteed demand. both sides wait rationally for the other to go first. This video is in partnership with Shipfinix, a Dubai-based platform that on 21st of February 2026 received an in-principle approval from VARA, the UAE's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, to operate as a regulated broker-dealer for tokenized ships, pending the final regulatory conditions. In plain language, ordinary verified people in eligible jurisdictions can hold small digital tokens of a commercial ship starting from the entry ticket, a fraction of what it takes to invest in the whole ship. By UNCTAD's count, around 80% of the world trade by volume moves on a ship, and most of those ships will be rebuilt, replaced, or scrapped inside the working life of the ones being ordered today. So tell me below, if you were holding that pen, what would you write on the line? And subscribe, because the world runs on water and almost nobody is watching. I'll see you in the next one.